What up, guys? Nakamoto Crypto here. So today we gotta talk about MM.Finances and their dealings, because there's a lot that's been going on since I've covered this farm about a couple months ago, if you remember. So stay tuned, like and subscribe. Let's get right onto it. Before we begin, did you see that post that I recently made, about me just going into nature, staying in tune? This is what I kind of like, my hobbies. I go over to, visit the oldest trees in the world, go over to see what are the oldest mountains. That's what I like. Crypto is always associated with dumb stuff like Lambos and people living in a yard whenever they make it into crypto. That's cool, there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously we all want to get there, but if I ever get there in crypto and become a multi-millionaire, this is what I want to do. I want to get me a farm away from the big cities, leave that that urban natural life where you are surrounded by green and Mother Earth. This is what I always wanted ever since I was little. Ancient sites, ancient buildings, see how the elders, the generations that lived before us, how did they live? And it was just a beautiful thing to see. This is what I want to associate myself with. You don't have to get you a Lambo, or if you get that moon bag one day, right, you don't have to get that Lambo. You can get you a little farm and live somewhere in a quiet life and just drive normal cars like everybody else. But people always want to overstep it in crypto. Obviously all of that stuff is cool, but to me that's dunya. If I ever get there, this is how I want to be living. Grow my own food, live in my own little farm peacefully, and just stay away from these big cities, because big cities, capitalistic, it's like you're always boxed in. It's like rush hour, you know what I mean? Like you wake up, everybody gotta run over, go to work, and then the city is just circulating. It's like it never sleeps. That's why they call cities like London and New York City and Sydney, that New York City in particular, they call it the city that never sleeps, right? Because day and night people are working, rushing, chasing the next dollar, and just like, for me, if you ever make it a lifestyle like that, it will be just harder and harder. The bills will pile up. You will pay more the more money you make. So to avoid all of that, go to nature and live that easy, simple life. With that being said, let's get into MM.Finance. Now, Mad Meerkat Finance, I've covered them a few months ago. You can check my videos, links are in the description box below. What is going on with them is I noticed that they are moving from chain to chain, and everywhere they go, this is what happened. This right here. Remember when they launched on Cronos? And they literally started at $1. I think they pumped up to $2 at some point. I'm not sure what was their high price, and then they come back down. It almost seems like liquidity is being injected, and then money would follow. People, they always want to invest, and then this happens right here. And look at all of their liquidities right now. So at 47 million. At one point this was hundreds of millions. $18 billion in total value locked. This is what they achieved on Cronos alone when it comes to traded volumes. Right now they are moving the entire chain because of DDoS attacks, because of hacks. Remember, I've covered MM.Finance being hacked a couple months ago here, and then a few weeks ago they got DDoS attacked. Go and look up what a DDoS attack is. It's not pretty, and that's what they claim what happened to them. And then now moving the chain from pretty much the Cronos chain to the Polygon Matic chain, and this is what they are doing there. The same exact scheme. Farms like this, bro, look at this. This is like 1000% APY. Absolutely impossible to keep up with paying people, and their stables are still some 5000% APY. This is way too high. People are gonna see these APYs and they're gonna ape in, right? And every time they ape in, they get unfortunately burnt, because look at the price of MM.Finance on Polygon. This is it right here. The exact same thing that happened over here. Did you see that? You see the similarities, right? It seems like they just moving funds from chain to chain, trying to convince people to get in. Once people get in, it's a first come first serve thing. Like, what DeFi is now anyway. It's first come first serve. If you want to make money, you got to be super early when they move into a new chain, and then everybody else that comes afterwards is exit liquidity, rug everybody and then shut it down. And it seems like to me they're just making up excuses like, hacks. We got hacked, or the farm can't run no longer because we got DDoS attacked. Them North Korean boys hit us. The hacks that we normally talk about on this channel is not just happening to the animal farm or elephant money and them, and none of that. Them boys are moving from farm to farm, from chain to chain, looking for vulnerable projects to attack so they can feed their own projects, or so just they can make rich out of them. But they criminals. So this has happened with MM.Finance as well. So I want you guys to understand that it's a game being played upon you. You just gotta remember it. Or you never know. Maybe it's them that are pulling the liquidity because of these high APYs and APRs. They can't keep up paying people this much money. Therefore, they have to make an excuse such as, we got hacked, we got exploited, we got DDoS attacked. Therefore, we're pulling the liquidity out and we're moving from farm to farm, navigating from right and left. And this is what has been going on with MM.Finance. If you are involved with MM.Finance on Polygon, just remember that what happened to them on Cronos could still be a possibility that will happen on Polygon Matic. You remember, when this farm started, you can go back and watch the videos. I really like them, MM.Finance, because they built like an entire ecosystem where you could make money from multiple sources of revenues. But there's a lot of people that got exposed to impermanent loss, because people don't know what impermanent loss is when they yield farming, and this is a big, huge issue. I've made a video about impermanent loss. People should study all of these things before you put your money into any of these farms, and just be cautious, because if APRs and APYs are really high, then there's a high chance that one day liquidity could be pulled out, a hack could happen, some excuses would be made, and then the devs would be just pulling funds behind the scenes and everybody would lose their money. How long do you think farms like this can run up, bro? Because if these farms can stay for a year or two without any exploits or anything, people are going to be rich beyond their measures. So if they're selling you high APYs, just sit back and think, should I really put my money into this? Because this is definitely high risk. And this is the difference between your normal banks and these farms. These farms will offer you the high APYs that you want because they understand the game. It's game theory. They understand that you are hungry for high APYs and high APRs. You are hungry to multiply your gains, and your banks is not going to give you that, your normal bank. That's why it's legit. The scams would tell you, hey, this is how much we are going to be paying you. It's absolutely amazing. But what they're not telling you is the possibilities of a rug pull, of a scam, of an exploit, the possibility of just waking up one day, the farm is completely gone and it's rinse and repeat. They're going to go and move the funds are moving from this farm to that farm, from right and left, navigating this thing. So if you are making money with MM.Finance, if you lost money with MM.Finance Cronos, so please be extra cautious with the new MM.Finance, which is now on Polygon Matic, because if you look at the websites, it's pretty much the same thing. The same projects that was on MM.Finance Cronos are now similar. If you go over to their Twitter, they're building the exact same thing pretty much. They just Savannah Finances, projects similar to Savannah Finance, if you remember Savannah Finance, are doing the same thing. Like, they are building them step by step. Whatever they built on Cronos is coming back onto Polygon. So just be cautious with that. It doesn't mean that you cannot make money with these APYs and APRs. It's really high, but also take a cautionary tales. Understand the game in DeFi. Nothing is here to stay long term. Doesn't matter what it is, just it is not here to stay long term. Play with stables, maybe you have a higher chance of getting that, even though the APRs is lower, like 15%, but at least you can make some money out of it. And then if you notice any suspicions, sell, get out of that farm and be on the safe side. And yeah, man, with the market right now, the coin that is popping is ETH-POW, Ethereum proof of work. If you don't know how to get it, please get it. You can do everything with your MetaMask. It's just a migration between the Ethereum proof of stake and the old Ethereum, which is Ethereum POW, and it has been exploding for the past couple of days. I think right now it's around $11 or $12. Yeah, it's about $12 right now. So at one point, you know, it reached like $13. Just last week it was around $4, $5. So it has been climbing up. The ETH miners are not letting up. You know, they stood with their chains and they still mining ETHW over there. So it's a complete different separate chain from the new Ethereum, which is proof of stake now that Vitalik and them have created. They are completely proof of stake. They don't mine or none of that stuff no more. But the ETHPOW guys are continuing with the old chain, and every copy of your ERC20, if you held Hex, if you held, you know, Uniswap, not all of these tokens, you can get them back on the new ETHW. There are tutorials on YouTube you can watch on how to do this, and you can get an exact copy of your Ethereum from the time of the merge. Whatever you had on your MetaMask in terms of Ethereum and your other ERC20s, you can have the exact same thing on the ETHW, which is the new ETH. So check it out. It is absolutely amazing, and the coins are out there flying like crazy. But the only thing though, you need to be extra cautious with some of the coins and chains, because a lot of them are not verified yet. So if you are going to be connecting your MetaMask wallet, maybe use a dummy MetaMask wallet and play with it, kind of see how it is. If nobody steals your funds, then you are good to go. So with that being said, what are your thoughts on MM.Finance? Do you think they can carry on doing the same thing that they did on the Cronos chain to the new Polygon Matic chain that they migrated to? Do you think MM.Finance is legit? Do you think it's a scam? Did you make money with MM.Finance ever since they launched at the beginning of this year? Let us know in the comment section below. Like up the video, share it, subscribe for some crypto content. I have been Mr. Nakamoto Crypto, and I'm out.